Yay, yay, yay! It's Freaky Friday! Yes, that was phase. Same as our last 3 days, musicians. So amazing. Love, love, love. Yes. I am the goddess of radical self-love, and this is MECA, Make Everyone Count Always. We are a support network for radical self-love and self-care and master manifesting. Yes, conscious creators of the destiny we want, desire, and deserve, right? And our community here, our community here values and supports our community's most vulnerable care receivers and those who care for them, caregivers. When our community's most vulnerable care receivers and those who care for them, caregivers, feel valued and supported, the rest of us are assured we're valued and supported as well. Thank you so much. Thank you. So much gratitude for all our new subscribers. Yay! And likes, thumbs up, comments, and shares so we can reach as many of those who need radical self-love in their lives and a community who supports self-care and master manifesting your desires. Sorry, this is driving me a little crazy how it's positioned. There we go. That's a little better. So, I don't have much time today. It's Freaky Friday, and today is going to be my first recording on the new podcast. Well, it's not a new podcast, but I am taking over, hopefully. Yeah, I am taking over. Minneapolis after 911 after the call. It's going to be super fun. I'm meeting the new co-host tonight, and we're going to make some amazing shiz happen. It's going to be super fun, super funny, and educational as well. So y'all should tune in because you get to hear me. I'm just kidding. I mean, obviously I'm not because you get to hear me. But if it's anything that you are interested in, legal advice and talking about some important matters of the day, I think we are going to have an opportunity for all of you to kind of play a part in it where you can give us a lift. Give us a lift. Give us a list of things, subject matter, right, that you're interested in learning more about or wanting to hear discussions on. Yeah, it's going to be super fun. And my co-host sounds pretty amazing. He's a musician, so of course, you know, I love music because I love to dance, so musicians are my people. I can't dance without my musicians. And I believe he's a Bigfoot enthusiast as well, which is super fucking awesome. Sorry. Well, it is Freaky Friday, so I can swear as much as I want. Mwah, mwah, mwah. So, let's get to it, shall we? Yes. Freaky Friday. For those of you who, I don't know, I can't talk today. This is not going to be good if I'm on the show. At least I can laugh at myself. Hopefully others join in. Freaky Friday. Self-actualization. Conscious creation. So Freaky Friday, I would like you all to join in on being your full self-actualized self. So all that you are, you bring into conscious creation. So, sorry, I'm sitting on my The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you dress, the way you work, the way you decorate your home, anything and everything you do. I want you to have your signature on it. I want you to really think about it and be conscious about the creations that you're expressing to the world around you, right? So when we're in a mode of conscious creation, we are not working alone. I mean, so I've been told by the guides. Our guides. They're no longer my guides. I share them with all of you. So, Freaky Friday. Go and get your freak on. Wah, wah, wah. Today, we have a new deck. Again. I'm so excited. So, this deck actually has been cleared and cleansed, but I found it at, I shouldn't say I found it phoned me, because it definitely jumped out several times, and I said, no, I'm not going to take you because your box is totally broken. Can you imagine somebody said that to me? I feel so bad. I'm not going to take you because your box is broken. Oh my God, it's so funny. But I'll show you. So this is where the home of the card sat, and it is definitely a little wonky. Whatever. Doesn't really matter, because they were like, we're coming home with you, and jumped off the shelf multiple times and said, you're taking us home. And I was like, no, I'm not. You're $20, and that is way too much for a box and cards that, you know, had a previous owner who, I mean, since the box was used that much, I would have to think they were loved. I mean, I do have a very good feeling about the past owner. However, we did clear and cleanse all that energy. And, so they said, well, why don't you go up and just see if you can get us for less money, because our box is broken. So, well, they know me there, and we were buying a few boxes. Not boxes, but books. So they looked online, and they're super expensive because you can't buy them anymore. So they're very, very important cards. And they came to me and said, yes, we love you. So we'll love you forever. And you, obviously, because they're not just for me. Huh? So our energy for today, it's so perfect. You know, like it always is. Our messages are so in line with our subject matter, and I just love it. It's just like constant affirmations, right? Yeah. So they're different cards, so they all have like metaphysical, spiritual, blah, blah, blah. There's like several different, I wonder if it says on the box. It says nothing on the box whatsoever. But these are from Joseph Campbell, Follow Your Bliss. You know, like obviously follow your bliss. It's Freaky Friday. We're going to follow our dreams, passion, goals, and desires. Conscious creations. What makes your heart sing? So, I just love them. Look at the back. They're just so pretty. Yes. Number 5. We're halfway there. The cup is half full. Eternity is not a long time. Rather, it is another dimension. It is that dimension to which time thinking shuts us. And so there never was a creation. Rather, there is a continuous creating going on. As we all know, as conscious creators, right? This energy is pouring into every cell of our being right now. Every board and brick of the buildings we sit in. Every grain of sand and wisp of wind. Joseph Campbell, Myth of Light. So beautiful. So thank you so much, our guides, and Joseph Campbell. Ta-da-da-da, ta-da-da-da-da-da. So excited. I mean, like, when I was looking through these cards, I was like, oh, I want this deck so bad, but yeah, it wasn't like, you know, the most pretty deck. And I know I'm not supposed to be like that, especially about our work here. So we have, what do they have? Sociological, metaphysical, psychological, cosmology, or cosmological, metaphysical. I wonder if that's it. I just, you know, I think these cards too, it's like, oh, there's more. No, that's the cosmological. I mean, all these to me still fit under metaphysics. So, you know, since I'm a metaphysician. But I think when you describe yourself as a metaphysician or a metaphysicist, then you kind of cross the entire gamut of, well, I would say spirituality, but I would say more like energy, right? Energy forms. So that's our energy forms. Words are energy forms. Materialized matter is energy forms. Feelings are energy forms. Everything is energy, right? It only changes shape. Transmutation. I got to do something about this box, though. I will heal you. So, moving on to my boyfriend. Since we have 10 minutes, we will go over our, what? My son's about walking in. Just one sec. Hi, I'm recording, just so you know.
Where's Ryan?
She's upstairs. Yes, where are we? So, we are on Towards the Psychology of Being. And interested and disinterested interpersonal relations. In essence, the deficient, motivated man is far more dependent upon, just one second. I just want my kids to be able to move on about their business so we're not listening to them going up and down and in and out. But we don't have that much time. So, let's just hope they're quiet. Yeah. In essence, the deficient motivated man, deficiency needs, remember, being that a craving that we can stop once we do what the craving is. So I don't know why my brain's not working right now. It will, don't worry. Satisfy the need, right? Then the need goes away. Deficiency. Growth needs never really are satisfied. They just transform. Grow. Yes. In essence, the deficient motivated man is far more dependent upon other people than is the man who is predominantly growth motivated. Because the deficiency motivated man is looking for outside influences to satisfy his needs instead of doing it himself. Okay? which is why we are focused on Freaky Friday and why it's my favorite day, because like I don't need somebody to tell me you're awesome when I know it myself. Right? And also others ideas of who I am or descriptive terms don't affect how I feel about myself. I'm just going to keep on being me. That's Freaky Friday. You do you, and I'm going to do me. So, moving on. He is more interested, more needful, more attached, more desirous. So, because he's going to keep on needing others to fulfill and satisfy his needs. So it's going to keep on leading to more desires of validation and love, which you can easily do yourself. If you let go of shame and guilt. Because it's very difficult to love yourself if you are still in shame and guilt, right? And if you're following your dreams, passion, goals, and desires, it becomes easier to love yourself because you're starting to be your own best cheerleader, your number one fan. Nobody is a bigger fan of me than me. Ha 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 ha. For real. I know it. I am sorry, but I'm not sorry. Like, this is healthy to be your number one fan. Not that I'm better than you. That we all have our own lanes. I'm not in a competition with you. We're on the same team. Because I want my love for you to be genuine and pure. And the only way I can do that is by loving me first and being my own best cheerleader. If I want to be able to go out into this world and have real forgiveness, like if you screw up and hurt me or do something stupid and I don't have real forgiveness for myself, guess what? Well, I just dealt with this, or my son did, to be honest, and I feel so bad for him because he's such an amazing guy. But I've dealt with these people for a long time, so I understand their, psychological imbalances, okay? It's not really, it's more about the forgiveness and compassion for the self and whatnot. But so basically what happens is if we don't have that full forgiveness and compassion for ourselves, radical, right? Like, no matter what, I love you. I love me. I'm a human being. So I'm a divine being, yes, but I'm human. I'm human. I have to understand that sometimes I'm going to fuck up. I'm not always going to make the right decisions, and that's how we learn. And then if we have that forgiveness for ourselves, if we let go of that shame and guilt, then the next day it's so much easier to make the right choices because we realize that we're all flawed. But we can do better than yesterday. Even if we can't be perfect as a human being, we can be better than yesterday. A better version of ourselves. Sorry. Allergies are really killing me all of a sudden. Oh, and my water's... Oh, yeah. I have Henry water. Ooh. So, my son's relatives... one of them especially does not, I know she doesn't, practice forgiveness and compassion for the self because of the way she treats other people. I mean, it was one thing, like, harm me all you want. Call me whatever because I have radical self-love. You're never going to touch me. Yeah, you used to be able to affect me like that, but not anymore. Like, I don't get my needs met by what you feel about me, so it doesn't matter. You can call me whatever you want. I prefer goddess, but whatever. So, so basically, because of the way that this chick feels about herself, right? She's very vengeful and mean to other people, and she doesn't support relationships of other people because she's jealous of the purity of their relationships, especially when you're dealing with somebody like my son or like my children, because they are such pure beings. And it kills me, like, to see it. And I kept it a secret for so long, you know, like, not a secret, but I wasn't going to sit there and say bad things about my son's family, my ex's family. Why would I? They are part of him. You know, like, just like I don't talk about my own. You know, like, I am doing the work by healing myself and doing, you know, ancestral healing through meditation and speaking my truth for my entire family. Like, so many generations of this healing is taking place within me. And I can see it with my children, right? So, I'm so sorry. I really wish I had a cough drop. So, they've done some really weird stuff, but now it's gotten to the point where, like, they shut his phone off, and then they wouldn't give him back the number. Like, we all know our families or whatever, we're all interconnected, and people sometimes, their friends all share the same phone plan or whatnot. It's cheaper, right? And she tells him she's shutting off the service. Calls him and says, I'm shutting off your service, buddy. But I still love you. Yet she won't answer his calls, won't answer his text messages, so that he can keep his old number. This has nothing to do with him. And I used to think it had something to do with me, because she was making him pay the price, because she's jealous and mean, right? But it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with the way she feels about herself. And until people start realizing, like, it took me a long time to realize when somebody called me names or did something mean, that it wasn't because I had lesser value or because they were right. It was all about the way they felt about themselves, right? And so when I really got into practicing radical self-love and I fell in love with myself for the very first time, I stopped attracting those type of people. And even, like, now when I realize, like, I come up with some people saying weird stuff on social media at times, like, the percentage of those people who are, like, saying mean things, I don't get upset about it. This sucks for me. I get a little annoyed because I don't want somebody who is not at the same place I am, but has gone through some of the things I've gone through and is looking to get on the road of radical self-love, which is a daily practice. Okay? It is hard, not hard, but it's like you have to have a consistent practice. This is horrible. What am I going to do? What can I take? Do I have a sucker somewhere? Ah, I know. I'm like, I have to have something in here. I know I do. I put something, I have, yeah, just one second. So sorry. Just saying. I'm worried when I see somebody saying something who doesn't deserve to even be on my social media. I worry about somebody else who's gone through the same things as me or similar, who will get offended, who will be thinking, if I speak my truth, somebody might come out and call me crazy. And I'm like, please start watching my show, our show, so that you understand. Well, to be honest, if anybody's crazy, it would be somebody who's coming out or going on to somebody else's social media and calling them names. And what I figured out is like a lower consciousness being is not as attached to their feelings, okay? And because people who have gone through traumatic situations or are more in tune with their feelings, with their sixth sense, with more than what they see, they have a higher vocabulary. Often, right? But what I've noticed with the people who are lower on the emotional intelligence or consciousness level, right? What I see happening is they all use the exact same terminology. And they all say one thing: you're crazy. And I just think it's hilarious. I'm like, ding, 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 ding. Yeah, that's awesome. I think you outed yourself, right? As needing radical self-love. Needing to start being more in touch with your self, right? Oftentimes I would think it's because they're afraid to really be who they are, so they have to call people names. Because they're like, wait, again, if she's going to do it on Facebook, oh my gosh, what does that mean for the rest of us? Are we going to have to start speaking our truth? Am I going to have to tell how I really feel? See, I've had to stand up for myself as a little child. And not only myself. I mean, as a baby. So, I'm used to going up, even though for so long it hurt. I mean, it killed me to have to like speak out and speak up and have people point and call me names. That used to hurt me so bad. And it's like, even now when I'm looking at comments and it's like, I do kind of like, oh yeah, you're sexy, yeah, you're hot, yeah. Like, that's getting old, right? This is a skin suit, just like you have. But when I see one of those negative things, it's like, delete, goodbye. There could be 100 messages. And that's the one that, like, I zone into. Because the universe wants to make sure that I'm prepared to be in this position. How is she going to deal with it? And how is she going to talk to everyone else who is a student, teacher, student? Because I learned from all of you too. How to deal with this? Well, you don't have to really think about it twice. Even if you do, you don't really have to, but you're not the one who's crazy. Even my boyfriend says, the normals. The normals are, yeah, just saying. All we have to do is work through our pain. It gives us superpowers. Superpowers, supernatural powers. And I love it. Because I love me. All right, let's keep going on. So sorry. Where are we? This dependency colors and limits interpersonal relations. So remember, we're talking about the deficient motivated man, right? Dependency colors and limits interpersonal relations. So that's where you get somebody coming in and calling you crazy. They're limiting who they could connect with. They can't hear a part of the message. To see people primarily as need gratifiers or as sources of supply is an abstract act. That's like a narcissist looking for a need gratifier, right? They are seen not as wholes, as complicated, unique individuals, but rather from the point of view of usefulness. So, I'm probably not that useful if I'm doing something that might scare somebody a little bit, if it means they might have to one day speak their truth. So it's like they're kind of like little babies. We have to care for them and nurture them by not paying any attention to them at all. Delete. Unless they want help. What in them is not related to the perceiver's needs is either overlooked altogether or else bores, irritates, or threatens. This parallels our relations with cows, horses, and sheep, as well as with waiters, taxi cab drivers, porters, policemen, or others whom we use. So I think that's a good one for all of us to think about. Who we use. Right? Are we making sure that we are fully present in those relations? Right? Instead of thinking that they're just there to serve us. Are we really giving them the gratitude they deserve? I definitely think caregivers needs to be in that list. And a lot of other people. I would say for this weekend, I want you to really think about that. I'm going to. Who are we not paying attention to around us? Service workers. Especially any type of caregiver. Because service workers are caregivers. I can go through each one of those and put them on our MECA Maslow motivational map. And where they fit into our physiological needs, safety and security, right? Community and belonging. A lot of our deprivation needs are taken care of by service workers that we do not always fully recognize for the amazing gifts that they bring. Fully disinterested, desireless, fully disinterested, desireless, objective, and holistic. Oh my gosh. Let me redo it. Fully disinterested, desireless, objective, and holistic perception of another human being becomes possible only when nothing is needed from him. Only when he is not needed. Ideographic, aesthetic perception of the whole person is far more possible for self-actualizing people or in moments of self-actualization. And furthermore, approval, affirmation, and love are based less upon gratitude for usefulness and more upon the objective, intrinsic qualities of the perceived person. Make sure you're having conversations with those who are caring for you. I love my conversations with Uber drivers. They're like the coolest people ever. And they're, I mean, like, I literally have had the most profound conversations with my Uber drivers. It's ridiculous. And most often I am, well, they're not from Minnesota or this country. So I really value their outlook. And it's amazing because they value mine. I don't understand. Like, is it our country or, you know, like, is it something to do? I don't want to say that because I don't want to be like across the board. It's per person. But all I have to say is I really do appreciate my Uber drivers and Lyft, you know? I mean, all service workers. Again, caregivers. So, he is admired for objectively admirable. It's hard to talk even with this, but he is admired because I love this saying. So, he is admired for objectively admirable qualities rather than because he flatters or praises. He is loved because he is love-worthy rather than because he gives out love. This is where I used to get caught up, thinking that I would be loved if I just showed everybody how much I loved. Like them. Then they would have to love me, right? It's not the way it works. This is what will be discussed below as unneeding love, e.g. for Abraham Lincoln. One characteristic of interested and need-gratifying relations to other people is that, to a very large extent, these need-gratifying persons are interchangeable. Since, for instance, the adolescent girl needs admiration per se, it therefore makes little difference who supplies the admiration. And for myself, when I was an abuse victim and sexual abuse, like that admiration sets you up for more sexual abuse because, like I said before, they can sniff it out, right? The emotional vampires or the manipulators, the narcissists, the abusers, right? They can sense, especially when you're like, hey, I need to be loved. That's why it's so important we love ourselves. Get your needs met here first. Then you won't be reaching out for anyone, and you'll be able to spot those people that are trying to use and abuse you. Right? Since, for instance, the adolescent girl needs admiration per se, it therefore makes little difference who supplies this admiration. One admiration supplier is about as good as another. So also for the love supplier or the safety supplier. So another example, I gotta go soon. Continuously being in bad relationships, choosing the wrong partner, because you're not really choosing then. You're more like, oh yeah, there's one who wants me, right? Not like, pass, 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 pass. Pass. Sorry. One day it will be like, oh, there they are, right? Because you know what you want, you know what you deserve, you know what you desire, you know what you master manifested. And if you don't see yourself as valuable and the qualities of what you are master manifesting as the qualities you really want, the universe will get confused. It will be like, oh, what's that? Okay, then you're going to have to learn another lesson. Great. You know, because you just fell off the wagon of radical self-love. Knowing what you deserve, what you want and deserve. It's always our own fault. Pretty much, you know? After we learn radical self-love. This should just be a class that we teach from the time we're born. But we've been so social programmed into thinking we're selfish and we love ourselves. That's narcissist shit. The stuff that's selfish is all about narcissism. It's all about owning and controlling and comparing. That's not radical self-love. Radical self-love, you believe everybody is worthy. Right? Like you believe everybody, you don't need to compare yourself to anyone. You love others for the quality of being that they are and where they are. Unbelievable. I really want to say about what's going on right now, but I can't. I'm still on. I'm still doing it. So, no burning bridges. Yeah, so I used to pick whatever came my way. What is it? Like throwing shit on a shingle or something like that? It's like some weird saying like that. It was like, oh yeah, that stuck. I mean, it's just dumb. But it was all how I felt about myself. I was worried. I was scared. I was looking for my needs to be met from someone else. Now I meet my needs myself. All of them. Yeah, I know we're not talking about sex and it's Friday. So, we'll do it next week. I'm going to see if I can get some tools brought in. Yep. So as for the love supplier and the safety supplier, right? They're all the same. Disinterested, unrewarded, useless, desireless perception of the other as unique, as independent, as end in himself. In other words, as a person rather than as a tool. And this goes for both sexes. Stop using people as tools to meet your needs. Right? Is the more difficult. The more hungry the perceiver is for deficient satisfaction. A high ceiling interpersonal psychology, i.e., an understanding of the highest possible development of human relationships, cannot base itself on deficient theory of motivation. I'm just going to go through 9 really quick. Good. I didn't have to say it. Somebody else did. La 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 la. And I already knew that this was going to happen, so yes, that's what happens when you're the conduit, but you remain silent. You learn to remain silent at times because you may look like an asshole if you do not. I've looked like an asshole a lot, but I was right. It's just people don't want to know you're right. They want to find out for themselves. You can't just go around telling everybody the future. Sorry, you can't. Or else you'll look like an asshole when you look like me. Sorry. Yeah. Supernatural abilities, like telling the future. Okay. Ego centering and ego transcendence. I just thought we needed to go over this really quick, so. I did just turn off the noise, but I left the ringer on in case there was an emergency with. Okay. I'm not dealing with this right now. Turn off my sound. I'm not going to deal with any of this because it's not my job. Okay. I don't care if you're excited if you're not going to be committed to a job that has anything to do with me. Yep. If you say you're going to do something, fucking do it. Or I'll be pissed. All right, moving on. Ego centering and ego transcendence. We are confronted with a difficult paradox when we attempt to describe the complex attitude towards the self or ego of the growth-oriented, self-actualized person. It is just this person in whom ego strength is at its height, who most easily forgets or transcends the ego, who can be most problem-centered, most self-forgetful, most spontaneous in his activities, most harmonious, to use Angel's term, Angyals. In such people, absorption in perceiving, obviously my mind is elsewhere. You know what? I'm too obviously, I'm not going to do this to you people. We'll just keep going with this on Tuesday. I'll read then. Thursday is self-transcendence. I'm going to figure out what's going on here. And hopefully shit's still going on for me. Because I want to do the shit. So. Dance it out. I love you all. I hope you all have amazing Freaky Friday. Go and get your freak on. Thank you all for your likes, comments, shares, and subscription and donations. Yes. Thank you all who have gotten The Snake That Never Sheds, available on Amazon. Mwah, 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 mwah. How is it forever? Love yourself.